Hello everybody, and welcome to another Toon Kind D&D 12 FPS. I am Vamp, and today I shall be playing my He Who Magic Man, Mersel. And I'm joined today by my lovely co-partner. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, I'm Babble, back again on my bullshit for like the second week in a row. Holy shit.
In fairness, I'm also back on my bullshit.
This implies that I never stopped. Kidding.
Yeah.
We have no brain cells again. Uh, I play He Who Magic Man number 2, Professor Winn Chimes.
Yep. And speaking of the professor, what is he doing right now?
Well, currently he is chilling on a bench right outside a theme park, and he's entered a little bit of a hyper focus, reading a good book.
God, the professor's so valid though. And well, make me a perception at disadvantage.
Oh boy. God, I love his wisdom so much.
Okay, at disadvantage, an 11. Alright, it takes you a bit, but you do, like, hear the sound of footsteps approaching, like, and you do feel it when Marcel, like, kind of puts a hand on your shoulder and goes, "Hey, Win. Hi, Professor."
Oh, hello. He looks up. Hello.
And Marcel is there. He's smiling down at Win. Because, still taller than you by quite a lot.
Well, um, Win stands up, and he's not wearing his normal clothes, and he also doesn't have his hat. It's fine. um, so what he's wearing at the moment is a t-shirt tucked in to a long and flowy blue and yellow vertical striped skirt.
Ooh. And Marcel kind of sees this and goes, "He look nice."
Oh, thank you. Uh, is Marcel wearing the same thing as usual?
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. He's just wearing the exact same thing you saw him like last. Like you can tell it's not the same like clothes. You can tell like it's a different clothes, but it is the same outfit.
He doesn't look tired, does he?
Nope, he does not. Marcel looks fine. Marcel seems fine. He's just here to hang out with Win and have a good time. How's Win looking?
He looks better than he did. It's not just slightly tired. It's fine. Don't worry about it. But he's also very excited, clearly, because he has put his book, which was uh, pretty small actually, in a pocket in his skirt.
and and like Marcel doesn't honestly think much about it because yeah, of course the book is small enough to be put in a pocket that might be a hammer space. He's not thinking too much about it, and he's just like, "So, where are we going today?"
Theme park! And he enthusiastically Will Smith gestures. I can honestly explain this though. Huh. I haven't really ever been to a theme park before. So,
And Marcel kind of looks at Win like at that before like giving like a chuckle and smiling, going, "Well, if you've never been to one before, I'll be glad to be be here for your first visit."
I'm gonna roll a deception.
Oh, Winn, that's a crit fail. Oh, honey. Even if I try and contest that, like, that's a crit fail.
It is a crit fail. And he's got a stupid smile on his face because like, he's, he's just got the stupidest smile on his face because, like, ah, that's so sweet.
And Mersel kind of notices, but doesn't really think much of it, as he kind of like reaches out and leads Winn into like the carnival, into the theme park. I almost said carnival. And he goes, "Oh, what do you want to do first? Do you want to go to the boots, or do you want to go to the boots, or do you want to go on the roller coaster?"
Well, I know that I'll unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, I don't know, I've never been on one. And dog! There's a dog over in the distance that's barking, he's looking at it now. uh, one moment. Apologies. He looks back over at Mersel and he continues to talk. I know that I'm gonna have to go on the roller coaster eventually, because that's part of the experiment that I'm here for today. And but I think more so at the moment, I want to know what you want to do first. Because another reason is because I figured this would be a fun place to take.
And Mersel kind of like, well, you think it's the equivalent of blinking? He always has his eyes closed, so like, you know, before he like gives a smile and go. But this is your first visit. I want the experience to be about you.
About. I'm gonna pause real quick.
It's okay.
Okay.
Hi, welcome back.
Hello. Deepest apologies about that. I don't know what was going on with the dogs, but they were going off a lot.
I miss you.
I miss you too.
Mhm. But yeah, Marcel just kind of like looks at Win and goes, "I want this experience to be about you first, though. Is this your first visit to the theme park?"
Hmm. Uh. Unsure really what to do. He
And
he looks around and he looks a little nervous because he's there's a lot and it is very loud. Maybe a little
and Marcel,
overwhelmed, doesn't know what to choose first.
and Marcel considers this before going. Have you ever gone to a fortune teller before?
Uh, no?
Well, there's a fortune telling tent right there, and he gestures at a tent that has actually appeared some ways off.
Did that pop up out of nowhere?
Theme parks can be like that. I'm sure we just missed it the first time around.
Oh, okay.
I mean, they're tunes, like, things exit and, like, enter a scene, like, with reckless abandon. And Mersel kind of, like, takes Wynn's arm and, like, leads him into the fortune telling tent.
He does not contest this at all. He
Yeah.
just kind of follows, and he's curious and a little bit nervous, but he's still doing it, braving through
They
it.
enter the tent. They enter the tent, and there's this figure shuffling cards within the tent. Like, it's a it's a strange looking tune. I have an image of them. Come on, I know I have the image saved somewhere.
Uh,
There they are.
for both the audience and for you, Vamp, I'm sorry about the dogs. At this point, I can do nothing about it.
It's alright. I don't really mind that much. If you're worried about background noise, you wanna adjust your audio sensitivity? Babble?
Yeah,
You want to adjust your audio sensitivity?
I am.
Oh, I can't hear the dogs anymore.
Awesome!
Yay! But yeah, here is what they look like.
um, oh. A bean!
Yay! And they smile up at both Marcel and Win. Goes, oh, hello. Are you here to have your fortune read? And Marcel kind of grins and goes, yeah, this one's having his fortune read.
Oh, okay. Um, hello.
Hello. And this tune kind of like takes out a deck of cards and goes, what kind of fortune would you like read? I can do a simple I can do a simple past, present, and future, or I can do 5 cards read.
Um, hmm. Mm. What?
Babel?
Yeah?
You cut out for a second there.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
um,
it's okay.
Wynn thinks for a moment, and he considers. Um,
Babel,
maybe.
I can't hear you right now. I think when you switch to the Winn voice, it doesn't get picked up.
Okay. Um, hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, maybe just a simple 3 card for a moment.
Alright then, a simple past, present, and future. And they start like shuffling their deck and cutting it. And while this is going on, Marcel kind of turns to Win and goes, so you've never had your fortune read?
Uh, I did once. It turned out to come true, and it wasn't best.
A fortune that you got turned out to become true?
He simply smiles.
Marcel's just like, alright, keep your secrets. But eventually, the fortune teller does finish cutting her cards and lays out past, present, and future on the table. And she flips open the very first card, the one that symbolizes the past. And um, when you see a rather creepy looking card, it's like, and the fortune teller clicks their tongue and goes, oh, the 10 of Wands, upright.
Oh, um, Winn honestly doesn't know what that means, but I would have to get my tarot out to.
And the fortune teller kind of like looks at you and like looks at a card and goes, this card is often meant to symbolize being overwhelmed, being stressed, obligation, refusing help, and a commitment to duty that can often become detrimental to your own health.
Winn thinks, and he's not entirely sure if that's accurate, but on the other hand, he's 40.
Yeah. Yeah. And like, and the fortune teller lets him think about that for a few moments before flipping open the second card, the present. And she actually gives like stuff like, oh, a major arcana. And it's the justice upright. And she thinks of like the meanings that it means, punishment of the corrupt, promotion of the deserving, harmony, balance, equality, virtue, honor, power wielded with both intelligence and impartiality, making decisions with all of the facts and accepting consequences of choices made.
Uh, that one sounds accurate. On the other hand, there was that last bit, accepting the consequences of choices made.
Is that another miss save?
Yeah!
Is that another crit fail?
Yeah! He who magic man number 2 is being tortured!
Oh
What?
no. And the fortune teller lets him like kind of collect his thoughts for a moment before she flips over like the very last card, and it's the Three of Swords, also upright. Because and she actually looks kind of nervous as she looks at you now, Vin.
It's valid.
And she goes, the Tree of Swords. With the deck that I'm using, the Tree of Swords represents heartbreak, self-harm, sadness, grief, separation, betrayal. It is, in the deck I'm using, it is mistakes made, secrets kept from one another.
Oh! Another whiz save.
That's an 8-8.
I'm making this one at disadvantage because that one hitting close to home.
Oh god, that's a 6.
Deception time, deception time. Okay! Everything is fine.
I'm gonna roll inside. I don't think I'll be able to beat an 18, but yeah, absolutely not. Mersel's just here for the He Who fortune. And the fortune teller kind of like shuffles the cards back into her deck before like kind of like looking at Winn and going, "Hmm, the cards are often meant to be taken as suggestions and advice rather than facts of life, especially cards set in the future." Do not worry about it too much.
I appreciate the advice. I much appreciate the. Okay, it's not picking up my
Marcel
voice.
kind of like smiles and thanks the fortune teller before like kind of leading Winn outside and going, "So, how was your first fortune?"
Great. I appreciate you taking me so much.
Winn is just internally dying, and we're only like a few minutes into this FPS.
Yes!
I will say, by the way, that I legitimately did an actual tarot reading with my actual deck for this, and that was what it gave. So, like, I'm so sorry when my lovely deck called you out.
Please call him out. He's
Yeah,
being a little
Em-
bitch.
yeah. Mersel is just completely oblivious. He's just like, all right, then. Do you want to go to the game boots now?
Yes, yes, games. Oh, he's super excited.
And Marcel kind of leads you to a theme park booth where it's that one where you throw balls and you try to like tip the bottles over.
Ooh, yes. Yes, yes,
And
yes, yes, yes.
there are a lot of plushies like big there are a lot of plushies like on display for like winners, but there is like the grand prize is a flamingo plushie.
There's a flamingo. I'm gonna see if he. I'm gonna roll a con. No, he is absolutely just. He sees the flamingo. Immediately there are sparkles, and he has big, silly kitty eyes.
And Marcel kind of looks at this and looks at Flamingo and kind of steps aside to give Win a try.
Yes. Uh, Win thanks him very much so and excitedly picks up a ball after
Yeah, all right.
got a coin.
I will have Win like roll three dexterity rolls, and each with a DC of 15. And he lands all three of them. He wins the grand prize.
Thank you. All right.
At the first ball, like when you throw the first ball and it hits the bottle, but there isn't enough force in it to make it tip over, so it just wobbles before like going back to its original position.
Aw. He is not discouraged. He has two more tries.
9. The second one like goes wide. It doesn't even like hit the bottle next to it.
Uh, well, he might be a little embarrassed, but he's going to try at least one more time.
At 12, this one does like hit the like last paddle, but again, not enough force behind it, so it just kind of bounces off.
You know, this makes a lot of sense. Uh, it may or may not have been either afraid of breaking one of the bottles, or maybe, maybe
And
he just has noodle arms as well. Like, he's a wizard. Small noodle arms.
yeah, and the owner kind of looks at this and like kind of goes, ah, fail, next.
Oh.
And results just looking at Win before going, would you like me to try and win it for you?
Uh, well, um, he teeters a little bit. Uh, eventually he just mumbles, "Are you sure? I mean,
Yeah, of course I'm sure.
are you sure you don't want to win something for you? Or,
I'm gonna roll hammer space real quick. 10. He reaches into his hat and takes out a huge ass bunny plushie. Which fun fact he got from Chance Encounter when, the whole luck trio went to a carnival.
yes.
And he's just like grinning at Win and going, you remember who my patron is, right?
Ah, okay.
And he puts the bunny back into his hat before like paying the guy and going for his own bow. And I'm gonna roll for him now. Using a luck point. 15. The first one hits like it's the bottle dead on, and for a moment it doesn't look like the bottle will like tip over, but it does. It does like tip over. And don't worry when the bottle doesn't break. And the second one. Oh, the second one like hits the bottle with enough force to like knock it off the table. Cause that's a 23. Yeah. That one was like straight on like that ass accuracy. And the last one, oh,
Christ.
that's the 22. Like you can clear. Marcel actually showing off a little. He juggles like the pole for a moment before like twirling and like hitting it straight at the last bottle. And the guy at the booth actually looks kind of like surprised. Just uh, oh, all right then. I guess you win the grand prize. And he reaches up and takes the flamingo plushie and holds it out to both Winn and Mersel.
Yep, he's good. He's good. Honestly, though, like that was a good whiz save. His heart is just he's dying inside in a good way this time. uh, he takes the flamingo plushie and he holds it and he hugs it very tightly in the softest manner yet, though, because he's got little noodle arms. And do you want to roll an insight?
Sure. You're asking Marcel to roll inside. Oh, that's a dirty 20. I eat my words.
Well, there are definitely little hearts around Winn's head floating, as well as little Doki Doki flowers. And you can tell he is thinking about his husband.
Marcel kind of considers that before like just smiling and patting Winn's shoulder. Um, I'm glad you like the plushie so much.
Oh, thank you so much. He may or may not be like slightly tearing up, but he's not like outwardly crying. It's just little tears
He,
flicking the corners of his eyes because he is so very soft.
and Marcel just kind of smiles at him and goes, "You're welcome. It was no trouble, really."
There is just a little squeak from Winn. Uh, mm, should we get some food?
Oh, yeah, of course. And Marcel nods, and I assume they both go towards like the nearest like food court because this is a theme park.
Whoa. Okay. That is. What? 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 He is very curious because Wynn's never been to a theme park. There is
And
so much going on all the time. What? And now there's new sights, new smells, even? And it's food? And you know, Winn. Winn loves food. We know Winn. Mersel is getting to know Winn. Winn is getting to know Mersel.
and Marcel's just like, oh yeah, this is a food cart.
Where has this been all my life?
And he laughs and goes, "There's a few others around Toontown, honestly, if you ever wanted to visit more."
Oh, I am absolutely coming back. and he looks the most enthusiastic that he has displayed at all. He has the like widespread stance and just incredibly sparkly sparkles around him. And oh my
And
god, the flappies.
and Marcel kind of notices this, and before going, do you by any chance like cooking?
Yes.
And he smiles and like kind of gestures at himself in a "oh, so do I" kind of way.
No. No. Are you kidding?
No, that's my job. That's my job. I cook. I'm a, I'm a cook.
I. Uh, you and I are gonna have to trade recipes sometime.
Oh, I would love that. And I imagine they both just get lost in the cooking sauce and like talk cooking for a bit.
Yes. Oh my god, these nerds.
Please no.
So, what is your favorite dish to make, and then what's your favorite dish to eat?
And Marcel considers this before going, I do love baking bread. And as for my favorite dish to eat, I don't think I have much of a preference on that front.
You know what? That's fair. That's all fair. Very,
What
very
about
fair. Mmm. Hmm. Well, I know that my daughters love it when I make lamb chops, so I often prefer to make that for them. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. It although there's nothing like all of them getting up in the morning and seeing them light up when I make them French toast.
And Marcel just like smiles and lets Winn like babble about like his family, cause and he goes, that's actually a kind of similar reason as to why I like baking bread.
Aw.
And he's just like kind of smiling sheepishly and scratching at the back of his neck and going, when I was much younger and I didn't know how to cook or bake as well as I can now. I would practice baking bread while staying at and I'm gonna roll a D2. If it's a one, he's gonna call her by name. If it's a two, he's gonna call her by title. And oh god. Alright, when you hear it when Marcel says, I used to practice baking them all the time at my mom's house. That's an 18.
Yeah, he's not sure if admittedly, he's not sure if he means his biological mom or maybe an adopted mom.
Probably an adopted mom, given that he didn't say his house, just that he was like he baked a lot when he was at his mom's house.
Yeah, that's probably what he's thinking, but he isn't
Yeah.
100% sure. So he's not worried or concerned for this boy when it comes to that. And honestly, he is very soft. And he
Aw.
smiles as he says, that is an incredibly wonderful talent to bake bread. Bread
Really?
is Yeah, bread is one of the hardest things for a baker to bake.
Haha, yeah. It is, isn't it? And he kind of chuckles before scratching the back of his neck and going, I probably shouldn't have started out with that when I first started baking.
I mean, I don't see any reason why that was a bad idea. You had supervision and you had a love for it. Really all you
He
need.
kind of like sweats a little like when you said supervision because he did have it in the beginning when he was starting to learn, but then he didn't.
Well, that's pretty much what he meant. He just didn't say it the way that he meant it because words.
Yeah, valid.
Oh, speaking of bread, what is this? And he's gotten distracted by a churro stand behind
Oh,
Mersel.
oh, those are churros. Here, let me get you some. And
What?
Marcel like pays before Winn gets a chance to protest.
Oh, you little shit! He says that very
And,
affectionately.
and Marcel just like smiles beefically, like, "What do you mean? Me, a little shit? I would never." And he just like hands like when like some churros like they're very warm and they smell really good and they have sugar and like honey on them.
Oh God, he can't even be mad for too long because like he's looking at those and he's just like, oh God, I'm gonna die. He
Um,
does split them with Marcel though.
and Marcel's just like, oh, you don't have to do that. I can always um buy my own.
I I'm I have a very small stomach, so
Oh, all right. In that case, and he just split it with Win.
and while that wasn't entirely wrong, it also wasn't entirely truthful. He carries this
And
boy.
it's this boy.
He carried this boy
And
very much.
and eventually, as they finish up the churros, they'll just so okay. I know you wanted to wait a little before you went on the roller coaster, but how about the merry-go-round?
uh, what's the merry-go-round?
And he points at a merry-go-round nearby, which in clear Tunish fashion doesn't just have like horses. There are dragons and there are like unicorns and Bekasi and like so many other like kind of animals like on the merry-go-round itself.
Honestly, like that's the kind of merry-go-round that I'm used to, one that just has complete chaos of all kinds of animals.
Yeah, the ones back home where I'm from, like they're usually just horses, extremely pretty horses, though I will admit.
That
But,
is
like horse.
entirely fair. Like, oh God. I think. Okay, so gonna make a whiz, but this is also a good one. That's 21. He does not see the unicorn and immediately bolt over. Uh,
Oh my goodness, and Marcel's just like grinning and going, "Well, come on, let's go," and like leading Win to the merry-go-round.
uh, even with that 21, he is kind of bouncing behind him as he
And
falls.
Marcel's just like inwardly going, "Aw," because that is cute.
He might be he might be in his 40s, but that's not going to stop him from having like the time of his life.
Yes, good. I mean, that's the point of theme parks.
He is the child at heart.
Eee.
Um, he is going to pay before Marcel can, though. Don't worry
I
about
mean,
it.
roll a stealth. I'm gonna roll perception, though I don't think. Did you roll the stealth at disadvantage?
I did not know. I just rolled straight stealth because that 21 was the whiz save that he did. before
Yeah.
this.
Yeah, no, Marcel notices what you're doing and like it's just like I'll pay.
No, no.
Come
You
on,
paid
it's
for
your
the
first
churros.
come on, it's your first time at a theme park. Let me do something nice for you. And I'm gonna roll persuasion.
He doesn't have high enough wins to save from that.
Nope.
He rolled a 20.
Yeah, fucking Marcel's 20, like Marcel's 8 plus 8 like persuasion.
Uh, oh, oh no. He looks a little nervous. And not like in a bad way. It's more sort of like, oh god, decisions. Before he just concedes and just lets Marcel do his thing. He doesn't want to disappoint the boy.
So and Marcel pays more like the merry-go-round. And then he just like looks at Winn and smiles and goes, "So, what animal are you looking to ride?"
Definitely not the unicorn, he says as he's making his way over to it sheepishly.
And Marcel kind of huffs another laugh at that before he goes to like find like the jackalope on the merry-go-round.
He bolts for the unicorn and hops on. And he patiently waits for Marcel.
Yeah, and Marcel rides his own as well before the merry-go-round starts.
Alright, I'm gonna roll. That's 10. He's having fun.
Hell yeah. God. We're just glad he's having fun.
Oh, there's a
Oh
lot of
my
giggles,
god.
and I think eventually, like, there's also a kid that's beside him that's just been looking at him. And eventually he looks at the kid and he says, well, hello there! And the kid just starts babbling to him about uh, magic and things, because I guess the kid recognized him.
Oh my
And
goodness.
Winn is just encouraging this small child to just have fun and do what they want. If they want to to have fun with magic, then they should do so.
Marcel's just watching all this like, aw.
And Winn is also going to cast Dancing Lights.
Oh my goodness, yes. Oh, that's so pretty. That's such a pretty visual image, like Babble.
So I imagine that it's sort of getting like it's a little bit closer to dark than it is really sunset,
Mm-hmm.
and and Winn is just enraptured with talking with this small child while the merry-go-round is going, and he brings out his wand and he casts dancing lights, and the lights just uh some of them are just like normal little lights going around, but there are some that are animals bouncing and jumping and playing around this child, and this child has the biggest starry eyes. And when being the dad that he is seeing the love for magic that this kid has, and is just softly smiling.
Oh, I'm gonna cry. This is how I die.
And once it's over, Winn helps the child off of uh, the animal that they were on and sets them down so that they could go to their parent
Aw.
before meeting
And
back up.
Marcel just, yeah, and Marcel kind of just shows up next to Winn going, that was nice of you.
I'm gonna roll a perception. Oh god! Oh god, I did not see who that. I'm so sorry. I got lost in the sauce.
It's alright, it's alright. But yeah, that was quite nice of you.
uh, I mean, it's, mm, it's my job, sort of.
No, I think I get it. And he smiles at Win again and goes, still, I stand by what I said. That was very nice of you.
Thank you. And everything that you've done today, I thank you, dear boy.
Oh, it was, and he gives like a little, like, he gives another smile and goes, it was nothing. I'm just glad that um, I got to, make your first time at a theme park so memorable.
Well, I don't know about you, but I don't really consider that nothing.
And Mersel can't really say anything to that, so he just like smiles and like, he has a really sweet smile.
Yes.
Yes. And then he goes, well, are you ready to go on the roller coaster now? You don't have to if you don't want to. Plenty of people go to the theme park without going on the more, um, is aggressive the word? Rides.
I. Mm, if this were for any other reason, I perhaps would maybe uh, chicken out, so to speak. But I made a promise to another professor that I would do this for science. They wanted to test and break the theory that the squishier quote unquote classes were all entirely ridiculously wimpy and could not handle it. I am not certain that I'm going to prove that wrong. However, uh, I'm well aware that it takes more than just one person to perform an experiment.
Uh, Marcel just kind of nods. We were going, well, I'm glad I was able to help then.
Oh, uh, you you don't have to if you don't wish to. I'll be honest. I didn't bring you here for the experiment. I brought you here because I just wanted to spend some time with you.
Oh, that's, thank you.
No, thank you. Um, do you want to go with me or no?
And he smiles and kind of like bumps his shoulder against Win. It's just like, of course I'll go with you.
Winn was tense, and he didn't realize that until he got shoulder bumped, and he giggles, and he relaxes.
Ah, God. And because it is nearing the end time for our FPS, I imagine they both like go on the roller coaster.
Yes.
And God, do I even make you? I'd say roll either wisdom a wis save or a con save on advantage.
Okay. Where is your con, buddy? I mean, they're both +2.
A 14, yeah. When you're fine, like you don't throw up on the roller coaster or anything. And well, yeah, it was like very scary at first, but as the like roller coaster actually went on, you're having fun. Like you're like it's a controlled ride. It's just like giving you the illusion of danger.
I don't quite think that he is confident enough to throw his hands in the air, but he is definitely laughing and smiling.
Yeah. And when they get off the roller coaster, Mersel actually splurges a little more gold to spring like that photograph of Winn. Like you know how roller coasters will have those cameras that take a photo of you right before a free fall.
Yeah.
Yep, one of those.
I imagine he honestly looks ridiculous.
Yeah.
His hair is like all over the place and incredibly fluffy. He probably just looks like a fluffy pom pom.
Yes. And Marcel actually gets two, one for Win and one for Mr. Payne.
Aw. Um, Win is going to get one for Mersel because Mersel went with him,
Aww.
and he holds these very soft. Oh, that was the most fun that I have had in my 40 years of life.
And Marcel grins and goes, "I'm glad to hear it." And he like kind of adjusts his hat, which somehow didn't go off flying while it was on the roller coaster, and looks around the theme park for one last time before going. You know, now that it's getting dark, want to go on the Ferris wheel?
Oh, Ferris. Wait, what? And he looks up at the Ferris wheel, and oh my god. His mouth drops for a moment, just in awe of how tall that is, before uh he smiles and nods. Sure.
And Marcel like smiles and nods himself and kind of leads Win into the Ferris wheel, and they both sit, and the wheel starts turning, and well, like it's an amazing view. Like the horizon just stretches like endless in front of both of you. Like the sky has actually turned night, and so the stars are out, and all the like little lights in like the theme park are like like are shining like fireflies from up above.
Oh. Ah.
And Marcel's just seated on the chair and like looking at the stars. And you do see that his his hair like it doesn't glow, but it does like glimmer under like the starlight.
Can Win make an insight?
Sure, but Marcel honestly like isn't really like doing anything. He just likes looking at the stars.
That's valid. He just wants to make sure that he had that Mersel had fun today too.
Yeah, he did. I'm not even gonna make you roll insight for it. He did.
Uh, I think once they get closer to the top, um, Winn is gonna pull out his wand again and look down at all the people that are around and flash Mersel some like mischievous eyes.
And Mersel kind of like tilts their head, like, why is Win like flashing them a mischievous smile?
And once again, Winn casts dancing lights.
And there is like, and the thing is like, Marcel doesn't have dancing lights himself. Like but he knows what dancing lights is, and yet like there is still like this open kind of warmth and like happiness in his face as he looks at the lights around him.
And it spreads farther than the eye can see because screw it. I think this is very soft. Basically, Winn is putting on a show for everybody around.
And you can and Marcel can hear like the cast from the other like wheel like the other like carriages of the like Ferris wheel, and like he can like see the lights like drift downwards towards the people, like the people down below, like slow falling shooting stars.
Yee! And there are even some where there are silhouettes of both tunes and real kind manifesting once they hit the bottom and dancing around people.
And Marcel's just like looking at Win and like smiling again and going rather fondly, still going show off.
um, the mischievous look in his eyes has since then turned into fondness as he's watching the people uh, laugh and smile, and children chase around the silhouettes and catch them and watch them turn into lights that swarm around people in the warmest way. And
Mhm.
I'm gonna roll him a stealth to make sure to see how well he or sleight of hand. I'm gonna do this at advantage because he's very used to doing this in this particular fashion. Okay, well he doesn't do it greatly, but also he's really high up in the sky. So I'm gonna say that this works for those down below.
Eh?
He is very clearly hiding his wand from everyone else except for you, as he is making everything move. And
Aww.
so nobody else but you, Marcel, knows that he's the one doing this.
A little bit of magic. That's what Marcel asks.
A little bit of magic.
Yeah. And he smiled. Sure, everyone here is glad to have that. And I think we can end the FPS here.
Yes.
Oh, I'm soft.